Hello, everyone. This is Reverend Ken Wilcox of the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. A couple of days ago, I told you a story about my dear friend Claire, who was a practitioner. That's somebody who really studies the techniques of prayer work and able to do prayers for other people. I'm going to share another story with you, and it happens to do with her stepdaughter. Claire had very great relationships with her stepchildren, and I always think that says something very well about a person. So this young woman had gone on an adventurous vacation. She had gone to one of the small islands, somewhere around Bahamas, perhaps, and she was with a friend, and they wanted to go scuba diving, but they didn't want to go with the rest of the tourists. They wanted to go way out, uh, you know, on their own. And so they hired these two guys, and they said, "Well, we'll take you around the side of the island that's not inhabited, and we'll let you scuba dive there." The day went really well. They had a really great time. They got back in the boat and they're getting ready to go home. They can't get the motor started. They try and try. The motor won't start. As they're trying, a storm is coming up. And without ability to propel itself, the storm is moving the boat further and further out into the ocean. It gets to a point that her friend tells her, he says, "Listen, I trained for swimming when I was in college." He says, "I can still make it back to the island, but if we keep going further out, I can't do it." So he and the owner of the boat's friend, they both agreed they would get in the water and try to swim back and get hope. So it left her and the owner of the boat on this boat, and the storm was moving them further out into water. They were out for several days and they had gone through all their food and all their water. And she said, being dehydrated, she said she started hallucinating. She said there was reached a point where they separated from one another, and she was on the hull of the boat. And she said there was this breeze blowing, and she says in that breeze, she could hear her name, and it was just being called out to her over and over again. Well, they actually drifted out into the sea lane, and a banana boat came by and picked them up. And so they were saved. When they got back home, she was telling her friends about her adventure, and she mentioned that particular time, and that she heard people calling her name. And when she mentioned that experience and what time it was and the day that it happened, she said they all turned white, because at that very moment, they had had a prayer vigil for her, and part of the prayer vigil were that they were calling out her name. You see, my friends, we are powerful beyond our greatest imaginations, and we can do wondrous, great good on earth when we're willing to link ourselves with Spirit and to call out for our good to come to us. It's what we're here to do. We're here to witness how much Spirit loves us, and we can do it. This is the truth in your life today. It's the truth in mine, and so it is.